people automatically assume if you're a witch or whatever that you don't love Jesus. He's a cool
Oh,
guy. I like Jesus, and we consider him an ascended master. He is a
yeah.
being of unconditional love and light who has many great teachings and stories and guides us. He ascended and still guides us from above. Welcome to your Magical Life podcast.
A sacred space to explore, create, and manifest more magic into your daily life.
I'm Crystal, homeschool mom to two wildlings and lover of all things witchy and magical.
And I'm Ash, your resident art witch and priestess, helping you trust your intuition through art and divination.
Hey, Ash, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Very good. I'm super excited today. We are talking all about angels, ascended masters, and animal spirit guides.
Yes, this is going to be a good one. This is how I got my start in the spiritual realm.
That is so cool. Yeah. And they're each, very different and distinct characteristics. We did a whole episode about deities, which are gods and goddesses of different pantheons, different polytheistic religions. So we did the deities, and now we're moving on to angels, which are a separate realm. We'll get to the other ones later, but let's focus for now on angels. Who or what are they? How do we work with them? How do we know that they're trying to work with us? Who are they?
So the angels are out there to help guide us. And like with the deities and the different pantheons, like I know that there will be different ideas on what angels are based on where you're reading it, who you're talking to. But from the lineage that I have learned from, angels are there to help guide us, to help support us in whatever we're doing. So you can have guardian angels that work
Mm,
specifically with you. You can call on higher angels like the archangels. And so there's different like levels of angels there too, but they're all there to support us and guide us. And depending on who you're talking to, like there are just angels like walking around, in spirit form, waiting for us to ask them for help and for assistance.
that's so cool. This is like a bit of a family joke, but my mom has said this since I was little. She's like, "Parking angels, please help us find a close spot." And I swear to God, a parking spot will always open up for my mom, no matter where. She has like the best parking angel. And I've used it a few times, like even with my kids now. And so they'll say, "Parking angel," if we're circling, somewhere. And it really does help. When you ask for help, you shall receive. And I don't know where the help is coming from. And what's interesting about angels is that, we've been talking a lot about spirituality that's not associated with religion, witchcraft, pagan, which is, again, not associated with Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, things, the well known religions that are practiced today. However, those religions do honor and accept angels as part of their pantheons as well. It's like a common theme throughout everybody. And I didn't really realize that till just now. And I and
Yeah.
are they the same angels? Archangel Gabriel or Archangel Michael is who I have right here, is
Oh, there you go.
very common in Catholicism, Christianity, as well as I think many others. Oh, you have him
I've
as
got
well.
another version too.
I love
Yeah,
that.
Archangel Michael is, I feel like, in all of the religions, the ones believing in angels, of
Mhm,
course.
mhm,
But
mhm.
that's where different religions have different ideas around what do they do, like
Mm.
how you would work with them. Like in some, you wouldn't want to be dealing with
Right.
angels because they're not great for humans.
I had just heard that in a workshop I did with Emily Carding with the Transparent Tarot and Oracle. It was actually with the Oracle deck because we go through the gateways
Mm.
and the 7 directions as I've talked about in previous episodes, and there is a angel card, and she said, "This is not the, pretty winged angels that help humans that you think about, the parking angel. It's not that." It is a otherworldly being with their own history, their own motivations, and things of that sort. And so to caution you when working with angels and not to just think they are completely benevolent, good beings, because the fae, the fairies, and things like that, you have to be a bit careful because their rules of what is good and bad are not the same as humans.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept that they share with that deck because that's not how I started learning about angels, but I know that's out there. So that's interesting. There's their take on it as well. And I know like some of the teachers that I have learned from, they have the idea that you can call on them in the sense that, make a sigil for the angel and you
Mm.
call the angel with that sigil, but then that's forcing them to come do your bidding
Mm.
as opposed to just asking them.
Right.
I see it, the differences between these as these different paths is like you can ask nicely for someone's help,
Mhm.
or you can be like, you must help me or else.
Oh, yeah. That's
So,
a
like,
good
you
point.
don't go to an angel or an ascended master or a deity with that energy of you must help me or else, because that's
Absolutely.
for you.
Definitely. Definitely.
And so if you go to them asking like, "Hey, thank you for giving me a parking spot. That's so amazing."
Yes.
Or "Thank you for telling me what I need to know today," or "Thank you
Mhm.
for finding my next path for me. Thank you for helping me with this." If you go in with that energy, then it's going to go much better and you'll feel better about it too. Just like I would feel better about talking to a human if I was like, "Hey, can you please help me with this?" That would be really appreciated.
That is such a good point. Have your manners, whether you're talking to a human, a fae being, an angel, a god, or a goddess. Have some respect for those beings and for yourself, just fellow humans as well. Be a good person. Be polite.
Exactly. Like it goes regardless of what realm you're working with. And
Yes.
so, like, for me, the angels are just extra beings there. And like the polytheistic religions, you go to Archangel Michael if you need protection or cleansing. You go
Mm.
to, a different angel if you need assistance with something. Like I go to Archangel Metatron if I need help with my, witchcraft work or like working with
Mm.
people to like cleanse my energy and align my energy for helping others. I might go to Archangel Zadkiel for working with the violet flame for transmutation. So,
Mm.
like all these different, like we were talking with deities, whatever you're looking for help with, you find the corresponding angel, or maybe you just open it up to whichever angel is able to help me with this thing for my highest good, and then see who comes through.
That is really so interesting to me because I hadn't really connected it in that way where, like gods and goddesses, when I am on a new moon and I'm focusing my intention, I go with Diana, Artemis. And when it's a full moon, I'm releasing, I kind of work with Freya for phases and cycles and things of that sort. And so it makes complete sense. And crystals, which is going to be another episode, crystals have each of their energy. And when I want, communication, blue lace agate, labradorite, connecting with source, blue goldstone, luck and abundance, so all of the crystals have those energies. So it makes sense that angels would also have their own specialty, just like humans have things that they're good at. You're so creative, and so if you became, I don't know, do people become angels or they're, no, those
Yeah,
become
so there are
ascended masters?
no, there actually are two archangels that were human ones that ascended
Okay.
through the ranks up to archangel level, and that is Metatron and Sandalphon.
And who?
Metatron and Sandalphon.
Oh,
So
interesting.
the O-N sound at the end,
Okay.
they were human ones.
Wow, that is fascinating because as we're gonna get into, ascended masters are humans that had, probably most of them difficult beginnings somehow, rose out of their difficult beginnings, and then rose and ascended, not just died, but ascended and then decided their spirit decided to come back to earth to help humanity ascend as well. And so those would
Right.
be people like Buddha, Kuan Yin, things like that. So it's so interesting that the angels also, because I didn't really know how the angels came to be, and I guess that kind of leads us into, source or God, like who named or allowed angels to be angels or let Metatron as a human be an angel instead of ascended master? Or are these just labels that we little humans are trying to wrap our brain around and define these undefinable energetic beings that are all around us. And maybe they're all just one, like God, Goddess, Source. I don't know that the angels, like, yes, we think this specific angel or this God, but maybe it's just an aspect of oneness. I'm not really sure.
I mean, that's how I see it, is that it's all oneness. Like, you're just putting your intention, your focus into one aspect, but, like, we're all one thing, like, we're all part of the universe, we're all made of stardust.
Right?
And so, like, you can call on an archangel for a specific thing, but I think that's just one of many aspects of the universe.
Awesome. I think I agree. And so I had this deck, which I showed last time, and I saw that you have another deck. I think this is by the same creator,
Yeah,
correct? Kyle
yeah,
Gray, who is like an angel guru. I don't know. He does a lot of work
not
with
guru,
angels. Okay,
but
he does a lot of work with angels and he has a lot of angel decks. Is that correct?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah, we'll go with expert, but not guru
expert.
because
Okay,
that's
yeah.
not his philosophy.
I love that. If anyone calls themselves a guru, I'm like, I'm gonna see myself out.
Yep.
So I like that. I actually like him more now. So yeah, so his deck, I was actually looking through and I only found it's, the keepers of the light, which I thought were, angels, ascended masters, and beings of light. But I only found Archangel Michael in there. So I think maybe his other decks have the other ones, but some more, ascended masters. Oh, did you have anything else on angels before we scooch into ascended masters?
I would just say that 2 authors, so Kyle Gray would be one author.
Yes.
To read more, you can read Angel Prayers
Okay.
by Kyle Gray, which goes into, like, there's a chapter for every archangel and
Oh.
other angels and other ascended masters in there. So if you wanna work with a specific one, you can read a whole chapter, have prayers to that one.
And I was gonna ask when you were saying, so archangel, is this like a hierarchical thing? Like they're higher up the angel ladder than the regular angels?
Yeah, so let me see if it's in here because I don't remember the order, but there is an order of like archangels, there's seraphim, there are general working angels, there's guardian angels, there's peace angels, there's
Wow.
all these different types, but I can't remember if it was in this book or if it was in one of the classes I took with him that had a list or like a chart of it, but I think it may have been in one of the classes, which that's not one that I can just share. It has to be,
Right.
one
Of
of those, like,
course.
you must be a part of the class.
Of course.
Uh,
It just
yeah.
reminds me of the Sophia code too, which doesn't it's not really big on angels. It's specifically these 7 ascended masters slash goddesses, because Isis is in there and she's a goddess. Although it says ascended masters here. Isis, Hathor, Green Tara, who is an ascended master, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Kuan Yin, all ascended masters, and White Buffalo Woman. Now, within this, there's activations that kind of really activate your DNA and release some traumas from like the lineage, and they do call upon angels, specifically like the angel of presence, the angel of, specific things when you were reading those titles, I was like, "Oh gosh, they are, the same angels here," which is amazing to me because I didn't really connect it. This book is so special. If you are at all called to work with any of those 7 ascended masters, it is an amazing book.
Yeah, definitely on my to get list. And the other one that just, I mean, talk about like special stories is Lorna Byron. I know I'm gonna mispronounce her last name, so I apologize. But I have Angels in My Hair on Kindle, and then I have the physical copy of A Message of Hope.
Oh.
And both of these books and anything else that she writes is just amazing, like her story, because she has been able to physically see, like you and
Oh,
I can see each other. She's been able to physically see angels her whole life. So, like, she would just be talking to them, working with them. They would, show up, walk with her, stay with her, hang out with her, and then eventually get her to the point where she could start helping others with this as well. So the
wow.
stories that she shared are just amazing.
That's amazing. I've never heard of her or those books, but I got immediate goosebumps when you said "Angels in My Hair," so that's going on my list for sure.
Yep.
We'll drop it in the show notes as usual. Be sure to check out the show notes. We're also going to give you a meditation to download this week to help you connect with your guide. So be sure to go ahead and check that out in the download section of our website. Another deck that I have is called the Crystal Ma Mandala Oracle. Mandala? How do you say it, Ash?
Yes. You got it the second time. Perfect. Mandala.
Okay, mandala, the Crystal Mandala Oracle, and this is all about crystals and angels. This is Alana Fairchild, who also does a lot of work with angels, goddesses, different deities, and crystals. So this combines it. This is a powerful deck. I don't often use it in personal readings for other people or for my channel because it's more of a personal experience. This is a deck, and I love how I got this deck. I just went into this tarot shop and, outside I set the intention like, please, I don't know what I am looking for. Let's the, person in the store be knowledgeable and guide me to exactly what I need today. Like I set that intention outside of the store and I walked in and there was like this teenager at the desk who was like chewing her gum and barely had any idea. I asked her one question about cards and she clearly had no clue. And I was like, okay, that was weird. I guess my intention didn't work. I was looking at the cards like, I'm just going to have to do this on my own. I'll figure out what I need. Random customer, nice older lady came in and was like, literally, I don't even remember how it happened. She's like, "You need this deck. I just need to tell you, you need this deck. I've looked for this deck all over the place. I can't believe they have it. It took me 2 years to find this deck, and you just need it." And I was like, "Thank you. Yes. Okay."
A
And I
little.
bought it and it has been and she did say it's, like, for personal practice. So, you pull a card let me just pull one for the collective and see what we have here. Okay. We have Angel La Habiel. See, and that's the other thing. These angels' names are so complicated. So, that's why I don't do them on videos much. And I can't say Mandala? How do you say it?
Mandala.
Mandala. I'm gonna get this someday. Okay, so you can see if you're on YouTube or streaming the video podcast other places, you can see this beautiful crystal mandala, and it is Angel Lahabiel and black tourmaline here.
Oh,
And so
cool.
each angel is associated with a crystal. So you can see that correspondence, like you were saying, like each angel has an intention, each crystal has an intention. So they matched the crystal with the angel, put it on a card, has an amazing guidebook. This guidebook, guys, I don't know where it is, but it is fat and it is full. Each card has about 3 pages front to back of information, prayers, invocations to really solidify affirmation. Like it is a full prayer, a full one card is like a meditation in itself. There's so much inner work to do with calling upon the crystal and the angels. So this one is purification. all about
Excellent.
purification, and it has crystal angels, and it also has the crystal masters. This one is Wild Compassion, the Ascended Master Buddha, and Peridot. So you can see that
Mm,
beautiful mandala. Did I get it right?
it's
Mandala.
yes.
And Wild Compassion. So they have the crystal masters, crystal angels, and crystal goddesses. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Lakshmi is up there. I love working with Lakshmi.
Well,
She's all about flow and abundance. This one is her golden grace, and her crystal is dendritic agate. This has helped me access angels in a way that I haven't really found before because I do have that connection with crystals. And the guidebook, like I said, it just really walks you through. There are actually people, I think you can be trained. I knew someone who was trained in this deck and would actually offer her services using only this modality, this deck, to call in the angels and the crystals and work with people.
yeah, I've opened up my practices more since then, but I'm feeling called back to the original, like, certifications that I got through Kyle Gray of how to bring in the angels and how to help heal people with them.
I
That
didn't know
might
you
be
were
some
certified.
services coming. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a couple certifications with him through a couple of different programs.
That's so cool. What do
And
they call it?
then
Like a
yeah.
certified angel specialist? What's the title there? I love it. It's just
I
so
have
fun.
certified angel guide, and
Oh, so
then I
cool.
think it was angel team certified or something like that, the other one.
I love
Um,
that.
yeah. So I think it's time to start coming back to that. Like I found that place, I learned from him, then I explored some other places, and now I'm feeling called back to that work. So
I love that. I love that.
yeah,
So many different options to work with spirit, work with angels, work with, all of that.
absolutely. For sure.
So, should we start moving on to ascended masters?
Mhm.
So, we talked like a second about them being besides those two angels that with ON at the end that were humans and
Mhm.
ascended up. The other angels have always just been beings, angel beings, and not human on earth, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
There's the energy.
Right. So then the ascended masters, those are the ones who had a life on earth and then died and didn't just become like an ancestor, didn't just, or reincarnate, right? That's another
Mm,
option, possibly. They their soul chose to have, instead of another reincarnation, that they were going to ascend and become somebody who came back to work with the people in an energetic level to help humanity rise. So again, I have just this deck that I love. It was my very first deck as well, ever.
mm.
And now, as we saw in the last episode, I have so many more.
Expanded since then.
Yes. So this is Joan of Arc.
Mm,
She is well known, famous historical figure, you know what I mean? Like, I learned
mhm,
about, like, her history, but I never really thought of her as an ascended master, and, speaking your truth, I think she stands for a lot of people and could help a lot of people with gender identity as well. Because she was like, "It doesn't matter if I'm a female, I'm a male," you know what I mean? I have a
mhm.
calling, and I am a person, and I am able-bodied, and I think the angels were who spoke to her, telling her, what to do as well, and then I'm gonna bring in these 3 here, be a little controversial. We have
Oh,
our buddy. I love him. I love him. People automatically assume if you're a witch or whatever that you don't love Jesus. He's a cool
no.
guy. I like Jesus, and and we consider him an ascended master. He is a
Yeah.
being of unconditional love and light who has many great teachings and stories and guides us. He ascended and still guides us from above. I heard that actually this is interesting. Where's Saint Germain? So
No, I
Saint
love Saint Germain
Germain.
too.
Yeah. Okay. So I heard that, okay, the deal was like for the last 2,000 years, since Jesus was born, that he was the dude that was like in charge. I don't know who decided. They're like, all right, your turn. You deal with the humans like for a while. Okay. And then, like, just recently, they switched. Jesus was like, this has been a lot, guys. I'm going to check out for a bit. Not that he's gone. I'm not saying, he's gone or whatever, but like Saint Germain, can you just step up and start guiding people more? And so he's been more, I heard, like in the spiritual world, and kind of why people maybe, not that Christianity is going anywhere, but people, even Christians, are becoming more open with their beliefs because there are witches who are Christian witches. You know what I mean? And they're realizing that just because you believe in Jesus, everything that he taught, being good, loving your brother, all of those things are absolutely true and things that not just Christians, everyone should do. But they're also realizing that things like that other gods, goddesses, deities, crystals, things like that are a way not to separate us from not being true to Jesus or true to the path of goodness and light, but just that they're just opening their mind and their soul. And I think it's Saint Germain that is helping everybody see outside the box a little bit as far as spirituality
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah, and Saint Germain also does a lot of work with the violet flame for transmuting all of the negative junk in one's life.
Yeah.
So if he's coming in more, then we're working through all that like ancestral, we're breaking those chains. Yeah. Ancestral trauma, breaking that, like transmuting it, being able
Yeah.
to move forward from it. Yeah.
That's so funny. I think you heard trauma, which is correct. I said drama with a
Oh,
D, which is also correct, and also karma. I feel like I never realized those words kinda rhyme. Karma, drama, and then whatever you said. But yeah, on his card, it says karma releasing, move beyond the
mm,
drama, make room for good energy. And he does have all of that violet energy. And I would like to just point out, I don't know too much about it, although I have been called to look into it. Is that sacred geometry behind him? Do you know much
yeah.
about sacred geometry?
Just a little. I know a few things like the Metatron's cube
Mhm.
and, seed of life, like those kinds of ones.
Okay. This guy,
Ooh,
Melchizedek, is one of my main guides. He came
ah,
in very early in my spiritual journey and has stuck with me in many guided meditations, which is, like I said, I'm going to guide other people through to meet their main guide. It may be a guide, an ascended master, somebody we've talked about today. It could be an angel. It could be a god or goddess from one of the previous episodes, or somebody we've never talked about that you can't name, but you can picture them, sense their energy, and you're going to have to do your own research to say, okay, these are the clues they gave me, and start looking them up online. Because, like, I didn't get his name, Melchizedek. I don't know how I would search that, but this long white beard and his symbol, the Merkaba, that sacred geometric
mhm,
figure, came in huge. And once I went down the rabbit hole of researching the Merkaba, then I found Melchizedek and I was like, "It's you! I found you." You know what I mean? Like, it was like a little follow the breadcrumbs situation. So the Merkaba is an amazing sacred geometric figure and one of the only ones that I've worked with either drawing, accessing, and it's like an interdimensional chariot of sorts, which makes sense
mhm,
because my birth card is the chariot. And so I use it to travel a lot during my meditations to the different realms, to the Akasha records, different
yeah.
places like that.
When you do the meditation, do you see all the triangles spinning?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. When I work with Archangel Metatron.
Ooh,
So that one's another one that's connected to. I
that's
think I
so
have it.
cool.
I have a crystal one somewhere up there, but
A
I
Merkaba?
would
Or
end
yeah, I have a tiny you know what? I don't know where that is. Now that I'm thinking about it, all the times that I've made my crystal grids and put my crystals out, I don't know that I misplaced it was a green aventurine, a tiny little Merkaba. I need to find it or get a new one. Maybe both. So, besides Master Jesus, we also have Mother
Yeah.
Mary, his mother,
Yes,
Mary Magdalene, his twin flame, and those are also ascended masters. These are also 2 women that were featured in the Sophia Code that I was talking about as well. Can we talk about the Holy Spirit for a second?
sure.
Jesus, Mother Mary, right? Okay, so my mom actually just told me the cutest, funny stories. She grew up religious and stuff, and to her, and especially in her age, women were not seen as high in the church especially. And so she always felt so connected, but also kind of shunned because she was a girl rather than a boy. And anyway, so you have you do the sign of the cross, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, right? And she was like, there's the Father, there's the Son is Jesus. The Holy Spirit must be the mother, so she must be female. And so she always assigned the Holy Spirit as a female. And so when I showed her this card, she was so touched that it looks like a female, feminine angel of the Holy Spirit as well. And is it an angel? Is it
And I feel like the Holy Spirit is just like another energetic thing out there, which means there is no gender. It's
Mhm.
just an energy.
Mm.
But that reminds me, there was an archangel that came to Mary,
Mm.
Archangel Gabriel, that came to Mary
Yeah,
when she was pregnant.
right.
And so it was always displayed as a man.
Yes.
But that didn't make sense because
Oh,
why would a scared woman at that time period be comforted by a man? So it makes much more sense that Archangel Gabriel is seen as a woman or like a more feminine
yeah.
energy.
Archangel Gabriella.
Yeah, that's who would, show up for, a scared young
Absolutely.
pregnant woman.
Absolutely. That makes so much sense, and, I
Yeah,
grew up in Catholic school, so, I absolutely think that tracks way more because you're right, I mean, they also don't talk about as much how scared and alone she must have felt as well. Wow.
yeah, yeah.
That
We can, depict them however we see them, but someone else might not see them in that energy because they might just see that energy in a different light because it is just energy. So it's neither male nor
right.
female. It's
That's true.
an energy.
That's
So
true.
if you feel the more masculine side of them, then you might see them as a man. If
Right.
you see them as the more feminine side, you might see them as a woman.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. And really, what does it matter? It doesn't. You know what I mean?
Like,
It's just energy, you know? The same could be said about humans. We're all just humans.
exactly.
So there's only a couple others. So besides the Ascended Masters, so this might be a shift from our topic here, but I just want to mention it because there's these cards
Mm.
in there as well, mixed in with the gods, goddesses, angels, Ascended Masters. We have, I feel like, I don't know what else to call them besides these like beings of unconditional light. We have this
Mhm.
Commander Ashtar call to action. He just seems like I don't know, what is he? The divine director, right?
Yep.
Intervention and purpose, divine intervention is occurring. I don't know how to classify these guys. Energy?
Energetic beings. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, everything is energy. It goes back to
Yeah.
that episode.
Right. Yeah. And I will say too, I know we talked about angels already, but I want to share one that I really like that I don't
Yes.
think anyone ever really talks about is Archangel Orion.
Ooh,
So having
no.
Orion as an archangel.
Same Orion?
Yeah.
I'm in love.
And
He's my
so
favorite constellation.
mine too, for
Oh,
sure. And which also correlates to either Pallades
mhm.
or what's the other one? Sh-
Sirius? Like the Sirius star system?
Yes, the Sirius star
Sirian?
system. So if you're a Palladian, like from
Yeah,
different
right.
galaxy,
Yeah,
relates to Orion because that's where
yeah,
the galaxy is. So if you're called to that one, that might
totally.
be where your soul came from
Yeah.
one day past.
No
Um,
wonder, we were besties over there too.
exactly.
I love it, that's
It
so
works
fun.
perfectly.
That's so fun.
But having Archangel Orion as, in your corner too, it says, "Thank you, Orion, for manifesting your miracles in my world."
Okay, so I'm just gonna need you to snapshot that picture and send it to me. Maybe we'll post it on our Instagram page too for our
Yeah.
listeners. But like, I am now obsessed that he is an archangel because Orion, the constellation, and this is getting a bit into like astrology, astronomy, or whatever, you know what I mean? So I'm not gonna go too far into it, but that his whole myth, I don't know, it's just always gotten me. And so I think
Y
that is so cool that he's considered an angel. No, just an angel.
archangel.
Archangel. Oh, he's I knew he was important.
Yeah. And so the archangels, there's only 2 that are human, but, like, general, like, worker angels, like, you could have an ancestor that became an angel. Like, I remember you asked me that
Oh,
earlier
yeah.
if all angels were never human, but, like, in the different levels of it, like, only 2 in the archangel realm, but, like,
Oh,
in the lower levels of angels, like the everyday angels, they could be human,
the parking
just to
angels, like, it
clarify.
could be an
Yeah.
ancestor helping
Yeah.
us out. Awesome. That is so cool.
Video editing can be difficult. There's new programs, learning how to edit video and audio at the same time, and then, of course, the dogs bark and the kids run into the frame, and you get lost in a fit of giggles with your co host. Now you have to learn how to edit all of these things out and end up with a presentable audio and video for all of the different platforms. But with Descript, it's easy. No editing skills required. With text-based editing, you end up with a polished final product that looks and sounds amazing. All of your videos are turned into a transcript. You edit the text, and Descript edits the video for you. When you cross out a word in the transcript, the video is automatically edited. Plus, with Studio Sound, all you have to do is click a button, and the little background noises of dogs, kids, and movement around your mic are edited out. When you're done, you can publish the full file or just clips by highlighting what you want to share. You can even change the formatting from landscape to portraits, making this one tool that does everything you need to record a video podcast.
To learn more about Descript, go to yourmagicallife.bcns.ai/Descript and sign up today to start creating your own amazing video content.
To switch gears a bit, and
Yes.
because it's all about energy, besides humans, there's animals, animal spirit guides, and dragons. I had my
Yeah.
dragons sitting here that we can't forget the dragons as well. The Sophia Code also has dragons. I'm on the very last
Mhm.
chapter, so I have yet to really embrace and initiate with the Sophia dragons. However, these garden dragons and we are besties. This is like the best, cutest deck. It's actually my son's, but I steal it on a regular basis. We've got this pumpkin dragon, which is mystery. You've got coffee dragon, energy, raspberry dragon, kindness. And so, again, you have specific energies, things your intention, you're manifesting, or whatever it is. And there's so many energetic beings that have to do with this. So there's the dragons, there's also the animal spirits. And this is something that I think people really can connect to because you go outside and you start to notice the animals that are coming up for you a lot, either birds, you'll start to see crows. You'll start to see black feathers being gifted to you, you know, things like that where you know that a certain animal owls have been coming in big time to me. I have a pair, and they are so significant, and then I'll see them just everywhere, little stickers on somebody's, like, back of their car, like, signs don't have to be actual real animals that, or feathers, like, that they left, but it could be just them coming to you in so many different ways, and I have a lot of different animal decks that I love. This is the children's
Mm.
animal deck. We have
Oh,
swan, which is you are beautiful just as you are. Buffalo, be thankful for everything you have. Bear, standing up for yourself. And now, bear spirit specifically, I worked with sometimes one animal will really call you to work with them for a long time. And bear was one of those for me. It was
mm,
about so many things that the animal guides can teach us. This one says, stand up for yourself. So, in a way, bear was teaching me that bears, they are strong. Nobody messes with the bear. However, they're not always raw, scary, you know what I mean? They can just stand up and be quietly strong without having to, and so that was just a huge lesson
yeah,
for me is that quiet strength. Also hibernation, how bears retreat, rest, and hibernate, and how our society is so go, go, go that I took a big hibernation and rest. And, I think that is just amazing how the animals themselves and their traits and habits can teach us so much.
absolutely, and Bear was there for me for a long time too. Every night I would dream of the two bears, like, in trees for the
Mhm.
longest time. So, for me, dreams are where a lot of my spirits come from, but living in the middle of nowhere, they also
Mhm.
show up in nature.
That's right, you have that dream about the snakes, and the snakes come in big time as well. That's
Oh,
another
yeah, yeah,
transformative if you're seeing a lot of snakes, it can also give you an idea of what it is that the energetic world, spirit, source, your higher self is guiding you to look at. If you're seeing all these snakes, you say, what do snakes have, to do with transformation, shedding skin, all of that. If butterflies are coming, it's all about metamorphosis, life cycle, letting
yeah,
things die to be reborn. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
It's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, you just have to take notice of what you're seeing all the time, and also in the case of, like, birds and things of, like, how many are you seeing? Are you always seeing 2 ravens? Are you always seeing
Yeah.
2 crows? Maybe you
And then
got someone coming in.
yes, and I forget which episode we talked about this in. I feel like it was one of our first, like a long time ago, but
Mm,
there's also animals that people deem ugly, unlovable, like vulture, for example.
yep,
Yet that is such a powerfully beautiful creature to work with and understand that death, decay, everything has a purpose in life, you know what I mean?
mhm,
And there's what others deem as ugly is necessary. The pain that we go through, things we don't want to look at. It's not just pretty butterflies. If you get scorpion or you get vulture, it's not a bad thing. It is just another thing to look at.
exactly, yeah, it doesn't have to be pretty and gentle, like, it might be harsh and really cut through life for a second, but it'll just be that transformation. And when it does get rough, then you can call on your angels to be like, "Hey, I need a second to breathe. Just help me
Mhm.
relax for a second, and then I'll get back to the work."
Absolutely, it doesn't have to always be work. Sometimes it is the season for hibernation, sometimes it's the season of winter, where it's not always a healing journey. You get burnt out in work and in spirituality as well. I just wanted to bring up this really great deck, Pocket Animal Spirit Guide. This is a Kim Kranz deck, Wild
Mm,
Unknown Tarot, and oh my gosh, this is, I think, my favorite animal deck, although I do love those others that I showed you, and I'll drop them in the show notes, the Children's Spirit Animal deck, and I
mm,
also have this Power Animals deck that a friend gifted to me, and they are
mm,
beautiful animal cards, a bit simplistic. The ladybird will bring you good luck. The chickadee will help you to live with your inner child.
mm.
So some interesting animals and artwork as well in that
Yeah.
deck.
So I have this one, the Spirit Animal Oracle. I totally
Ooh,
got it because of the cover art.
oh my gosh. I have looked at that deck and I have sat on my fingers, but I feel like you are about to make me buy it, so show us.
Oops. Okay, so this is the first one here that is the fox spirit.
Love
And just like
fox.
I love the artwork in it. It's so
Can you
wild
show it
and
again?
yeah.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
And like the cards, like the artwork is just crazy. This is the one that was on the front of it. Stag Spirit Take the Lead.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah.
That
This is by Colette Baron Reed.
oh,
I do
yeah.
really like this one.
Ooh, scarab beetle? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I love
I
that.
was trying to find the one that started my vulture journey here.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna pick a card out of this wild unknown animal deck. Ooh, I love it. Oh my gosh. So I got Phoenix, all about
There's
rebirth,
my
and it's got
card.
it's got this shine to it. I don't know if you can see it on in the light here,
A
but there's a
little
little
bit.
bit. I love my shiny things. And oyster, which I love, and turtle. Oh my
Ooh,
gosh, you're not gonna believe it.
I'll share.
Of course.
I knew it before you. I'm sure.
Yeah. Of course. I'm gonna read from the guidebook here for vulture. It says, "Guardian and purifier. The vulture is perhaps the most misunderstood creature of all. This intriguing bird balances our ecosystem and prevents the spread of disease. It does the dirty work that no one else wants to do and cleans up our messes. The vulture appears when there's a situation that needs to be purified or brought back into balance. Remember, the vulture is greatly undervalued. What you thought was a mistake or tragedy is a blessing in disguise. And I love that this deck, it gives you when you're in balance, when vulture's in balance, clarifying, revealing wisdom. When out of balance, a bit dramatic and aggressive, and a way to bring you into balance. I love that it doesn't just leave you, well, if you're out of balance, you're out of balance. It says a way to bring into balance is to clean your space and sage. And it gives a practical application. Every card, like a way to raise your vibration into that imbalance definition.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I love that version of it too, for sure.
All right. Do you have anything else about angels, ascended masters, animal spirit guides to
I
share with
think
our
you just have
listeners?
to if you're interested in working with them, you just have to sit down, have some space, and see who wants to come through for your highest good right now.
Absolutely. And I think that's important as well. It's right now. It doesn't mean that is the only angel you can ever work with. Like we talked about in the deity episode, some people are very, I am a, Loki only person. And I feel like that's so narrowing. Can it be your main guide? Yeah, maybe. Like Melchizedek comes up again and again for me. So I feel like he's always, we talk about having like a spiritual support team. I feel like there's like a
Mm.
bunch of guides that are there behind us to help guide us whenever we are at a loss of what to do, what decision to make, how to next move forward best in our life. And we say, oh my gosh, am I on the right path? Should I do this or that? I think it's so important to note that I don't think that there is a wrong path. I think we're always going to get to where we need to go. And we have a array of guidance available if we ask, if we listen, and if we're open to it, we can see these breadcrumbs, this trail. However, if you're looking up and you're not looking for a breadcrumb trail, you're absolutely going to miss it. And does it mean you won't get to the same destination? It doesn't. It just means it might be a little bit more of a meandering path. You might come across some more upheaval, some more soul lessons to learn before you get to your ultimate highest timeline destination here. However, we can all just call upon the angels, the guides, the ascended masters, the animal spirits, the dragons, God, source, the universe, our higher self, a specific God, deity, whatever you want to call it, prayer, manifestation, I think it's all the same. Just open the communication, ask
Mhm.
for guidance, ask for help, and be willing to receive it and for it to not look exactly like you think it should or will look. The help that you get may not be exactly what you think in your human 3D mind that the help looks like. I use the example of losing your job, but really you get a better job. People who can change your life. I have had encounters with homeless people that I swear are angels. You know what I mean? Just the way that a person looks, you cannot judge them as, what they mean to you on your path. And you can also not judge your importance on someone else's path. I think it's so important to realize that we're all this interconnected web. And when we move, we pull on the web and we affect others energetically and physically. And so I think that we really just have to remember that we each play such an important role in everybody else's life. Like we could make their day, break their day. So every interaction you have, try to come at it with your most kind self.
That's beautifully put, for sure. Yes.
Go have a great day. Be
Yes.
kind to someone. Do a random act of kindness. Talk to your angels. Talk to your guides. They are there. And look out for the miracles, the signs, the synchronicities, because that's when I feel like we get that confirmation that our communication with the divine, with the spirits, the angels, the ancestors, the guides, the animals, all of them, when we can see the confirmation. Like, I am a very needy person. My spirit guide team knows. Ash has seen it. They know I need a lot of confirmation, and I screenshot it to her because I'm like, "Oh, yay. Okay." Even if, you know, the podcast numbers are slowly growing. I know we're on the right track because A, it feels authentic. It feels good to do this, bring this information to our listeners, have the conversations with you because I learn so much from you every single episode. And I enjoy this time that we spend together. But beyond that, like, I know that this is our path because I keep getting the signs and synchronicities and confirmation and miracles that are like, "Bam, yes, Crystal, it's fine. It's fine. You're on the right track. You're on the right track." And I think if we ask our guides for that confirmation, they will absolutely deliver 111s on the
Yeah.
clock, 444s on the license plates, four-leaf clovers in your grass, eagles circling and dropping feathers to you. You will see the most amazing signs, synchronicities, and miracles from your spiritual support team if you open up your channel. And everyone has
Yeah.
this magic. It's not just me, it's not just you, it's not the gurus, right? We're all magic. We all have this in us, and we just have to tap in. And kids are the
Yeah.
most open. They have it like in there until somebody tells them that it's not.
Yeah. You just have to get that childlike spirit going for a minute and see what comes through for you today. After you've
Yes,
listened to all of this, go take a walk and see what comes through. So, with
absolutely.
that, thank you to all the listeners, all the viewers on YouTube.
And listen to the meditation in the show notes. So if you need some help accessing your guides right now, again, who's working with you right now for what purpose right now, go check out that meditation in the downloads.
Absolutely. Get the meditation, talk to your guides, and we will see you in the next episode.
All right. Take care. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Your Magical Life. We hope you enjoyed it. Drop a comment and let us know what you liked and what you'd like to see more of.
We love hearing from our listeners and featuring your most requested topics in our Q&A section. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and don't forget to check the show notes for bonus content.
Send us your stories, questions, and comments to magicallifepod@gmail.com.
And we'll see you next time as we continue to explore, create, and manifest more magic into our daily lives.
Until then, I'm Crystal.
And I'm Ash. Take care and keep making magic.